Iron Supporting Food Banks collects food and cash donations for needy families in Newham Borough and beyond. Please consider making a donation via their Just Giving page, the link for which you will find in the description section of this stream. Come on, you Irons!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the West Ham Massive. Thanks for joining us. As always, ladies and gentlemen, as I always ask you to do, please don't forget to like, comment on and share this stream to your social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you are new around here. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for alerts and new content. And as always, we thank you very much indeed for your support in this matter. As I said on one of my previous videos, there's about 70% of the people that have watched our content in the last 28 days that are not subscribed to the channel. We're 2 subscribers last time I looked, short of the 800 mark. You know, it's really quite frustrating. So all these things are free to do. Liking, sharing, subscribing. They're completely free to you. They take seconds. We don't get your bank details or anything like that. So please help grow the channel. If you've got any friends that are West Ham fans or football fans, ask them to sub. Why not? Let's have a look and see who is in the chat. Let's see. We've got Kent's in there. How you doing, mate? Hope you are well. Charlie, hope you're all good and you're not sweating like a pig. It's a bit of a hot one today, I've got to say, chaps. LB Claret and Blue, hope you are good. And Sean is in there as well. Hope your day is going well. Okay, so going to have a little bit of audience interaction as we go along. So if there's any questions that you've got that you want to ask me directly, get it in the live chat. Put a Q at the start of it. It makes it easier for me to find. But before we get into that, I just want to touch on a video that some of you may have seen this, some of you may not have done. And it was on West Ham Fan TV. And it was put up there today, and it was Nicky Hawkins, who I'm sure you all know, putting a video up of the match. Well, it wasn't of the match. It was of his experience going to London Stadium ahead of the match against Celta Vigo. Now, Nicky didn't go into the stadium. He respected the boycott. He stayed out of the stadium, but he went up to the ground to have a little potter around, see what was going on, talk to certain people like Paul Colborne of Hammers United, and see what was going on as far as the protest was concerned. No problem at all. And things took a little bit of a turn. As I say, go and have a look at the video, and you can see it for yourself. In fact, what I might do in a minute is, for those of you that are watching that maybe haven't got a clue what I'm talking about, I'm just going to sort of carry on rabbiting away. I'm going to see if I can find the link, and what I'll do is I'll put it in the live chat, because those of you that haven't seen it, I think if you watch it, you might be quite surprised at what you witness. It really is quite astonishing. So I'm just going to put it in the live chat just real quick, as I say, for those of you that have not seen it, because I don't assume, and I know that Kent's seen it. I'm fully aware that Kent has seen it. No, hang on a moment. Right, so that's not going to work. Let me just find it. Just bear with me a second, guys. I do apologize. I'm just going to find it, and then I will share it with you momentarily. There it is. Okay, so as I say, there may be some of you that this is completely news to. Some of you may be aware of it. So the ones that are aware of it, it doesn't really make much odds. But the ones that aren't aware of it, you could have a little look at that. And basically, so Nicky went past the ring of steel, as I call it, where you get frisked to within an inch of your life, or not, as the case may be. It's sort of like them wands that they wave up and down. I'm not entirely convinced that they work, in all truth. But he got accosted and sort of told he couldn't take his tripod, and he couldn't take this, and he couldn't take that. And okay, fine, no problem. And he then goes into the club shop, And I'm pretty sure I'm getting the chronology of this right, and there might be certain elements that I maybe misremember. So go and have a look at the stream, have a look at that, just to sort of make sure. But he goes into the club shop and he then gets accosted by security, this, that, and the other. They come sort of like flying up to him. There's a bit of words that are exchanged sort of both ways. And Nicky's basically asked to get out of the shop, get out of the club store. And one of the things that was mentioned was that because he had quotes unquote protest material, the flyers that Hammers United have put out about the boycott. Now, I don't remember that having protest material in and of itself was actually something that was incorrect. I'm pretty sure we live in a country where we have freedom of speech, and I'm pretty sure that peaceful protest is the right of any British citizen, I thought. But maybe, unbeknownst to me, maybe we found ourselves teleported to Pyongyang. I don't know. It's all a bit strange. I don't quite know what to make of it, and it's really quite concerning. Not just for the club, but for me. I think kind of for your civil liberties. That's just my opinion on it. But go and have a look. Go and have a look at that video. It's about 7-8 minutes long, and it's really quite concerning, guys. And again, if there's people that are out there that are watching this that again are saying, boycott? What boycott? What's this all about? Well, again, I'm not going to assume that everybody knows, because it's quite strange that there's quite a lot of people that appear not to know about this protest here. And I'm just going to go full screen with it. I'm just going to switch that banner off just momentarily. For those of you that don't know, this is the change.org petition. Again, I will copy this and I will put this in the live chat for anyone that maybe hasn't got round to signing it. Really, this is so important that you do it, because basically what the club have done is they have, hang on, I can't, is that going to go? I don't know. I think that's going to work. I don't know. Anyway, you can find it. Just Google change.uk West Ham. I'm sure you can find it. But basically, you stop and think about this. There's, 62,500 capacity that we have for football matches. Obviously, that includes away fans. So there's around about 54, 56 season ticket holders, we're regularly told. And look at that, 16,077. Now, I think that's actually disgraceful. I think that is absolutely disgraceful that of all of the people that go week on week to watch West Ham that are season ticket holders, and a protest that has been organised on the change.org website that is there to help the fans. And bear in mind what they're doing, ladies and gentlemen, is basically they're turning around and they're not accepting any new applications for OAPs or children in anything up to band 4, if I remember correctly. Now, that's an absolute joke, because what you're basically turning around and saying is that from here on in, anybody that has the temerity to be a child or someone that's elderly, well, your only option is to go up in the gods. Now, here's a little story for you. So yesterday, let me just remove that just quickly. So yesterday, I was at the Oval. I was at the Oval Cricket Ground in Kennington. Okay, I was watching the 100 Oval Invincibles against London Spirit, the London Derby. Okay, now I was in row 5. Okay, I was in row 5. I was quite close to the front. I was quite close to the boundary. Okay, at London Stadium, I am as far back as you can get in the stadium. There is nobody that is in the stadium there's no one in the stadium that's behind me, basically. Okay, nobody is behind me that is still in the stadium. So I'm as far back as you can get. I'm row 73, block 203. So just imagine if there was someone that was ill around about there. Now, there was a guy yesterday behind me. He's in row 6 at the Oval. He was, I'm guessing it was sunstroke or something like that. And he was in a pretty bad way. And it was, even in row 6, it was quite a task to get this elderly gentleman out and get the medical attention to him in row 6 at the Oval, which holds about 28,000. Now, just imagine that is the same gentleman in row 73 at the London Stadium and you've got to get medical attention to him, or you've got to get him out, down all of those stairs and get him to a medical room or out to a hospital or something like that. Just consider that. Now, again, another little thing that I can't understand is that David Sullivan, he's elderly himself. I mean, what is he? He's into his 70s, isn't he? He's probably pushing 80, something like that. This is an attack on his own sort of like demographic in society. This is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. This could be your grandfather, this could be your grandmother, it could be your great uncle, your great aunt, whatever, that could be in that position that they are up in the gods. So, and it's probably going to be quite a task for them to get to and from. And God forbid they're up in row 73 on a baking hot day and they get a little bit of an episode and they need medical attention got to and a little bit lively. What's going to happen then? As I say, I saw it yesterday in row 6 at the Kennington Oval, 28,000 or so stadium, and we're talking about putting someone in row 73 in a 62,500 stadium. That's not going to end well. That is not going to end well. Just wanted to get that off my chest. And if any of you guys that are watching that haven't signed that petition, please, please, please do. Even if you don't have anyone in your life that is in those age brackets, we are talking about in the sense of the younger element, we're talking about future fans of this club that we are literally cutting off at the knees. We are turning around to them and saying, you're going to have to either pay an adult price or you're going to have to go up in the gods and just take your chances. Absolutely disgraceful treatment. So if you haven't, guys, please go on that change.org link, go on the website, please make sure you sign it. I do think that's just over 16,000 when we're talking that we've got in the stadium 50 odd thousand season ticket holders. To have only 16,000 signatories on that, I think is an absolute disgrace. I think we ought to hold our heads in shame. I really do. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, right, I've got that off my chest. I'm now going to have a little look and see what you've been saying in my absence. Mr. Singleton's joined us. Charlie says he's indeed sweating like something you can't say on YouTube in a playground. I know exactly what you're talking about there, mate. Ricky, hope you are well. Right, got some questions that a few of you have fired in, but Charlie, yours is, yeah, we'll probably get there. Does size matter? You'd have to ask my wife. She assures me it doesn't, but I'm not too sure she's on the level. Kent's come in with a sensible question. Let's dive into this one. Starting lineup for Saturday, AWB permitting. Well, last I looked, and I'm just going to do it live as we speak. I've got the West Ham webpage here. I've just refreshed it. It doesn't say anything. I mean, the talk is that he's signed. It's pretty much a done deal. It's just they've got to publicise it. But until they do, I guess anything can be true or not. So let's say this is just my 11 that I'd like to see. Now, I know what people are going to say. It probably leaves us a bit open in some respects, but we had 2 years or so of watching football that was not very attack orientated. So this might be me sort of rebelling a little bit, but I would go 4-3-3. I would go Areola in goal, left back Emerson, right back Wan-Bissaka, assuming he signs, centre back pairing, Kilman left and Todibo right. I would have Rodriguez as the holding midfielder. I would have Paquetá and Kudus as the central mids, just slightly ahead of them. Somerville left, Bowen right, Fulkrug through the middle. Now, I know that probably leaves us a little bit short of, what shall I say, firepower maybe, solidity in central mid. But as I say, there's just that little part of me, that cavalier part of me that wants to see us going out there against Villa on the front foot, having a go. Obviously, if we don't get Wan-Bissaka in, then it's going to be Kufal that starts at right back. That's what I would like to see. Now, whether Lopetegui goes with that, I've got a funny feeling there's a chance that Souček might start, and I've been a bit of a critic of his over the last few seasons. I think he's a hard worker. I think he's an absolute warrior, but I've always sort of criticised him for his passing. But you know what? Against Celta Vigo, I actually saw some decent passing. He was actually moving the ball in a way, in a fashion that I've don't think I can recall ever having seen before. So I wouldn't actually be surprised if Souček played. I don't think that Souček and Ward-Prowse can coexist in the midfield, though. I just don't see that. I just don't think they're mobile enough. I think at best you can play one of them and not the other. And for me, I would probably play Souček, because the one thing he is going to give you that you know that you're going to get is he's going to cover every blade of grass. He is going to work his socks off. Albie comes in with a question. So now Wan-Bissaka looks like a done deal. Do we need any more signings? And if who would you like to see coming? If so, who would you like to see coming? Right, okay. Probably a left back for me. I think if we could get a left back that is at the very least going to put pressure on Emerson, I think that would be a good thing. I'm not necessarily talking about someone that's going to relegate Emerson to the substitutes bench. I mean, if we could do that, that would be brilliant. But if we could at least get a fullback in, a left back that could reasonably compete with Emerson, because let's be completely honest about it, are Aaron Cresswell and Oliver Scholes going to realistically put pressure on Emerson to be at his very best week on week? I'm not convinced that they are. I'm really not. So I think I'd like to see a left back, if I'm being honest. Maybe another forward, but I'm probably being very optimistic there. But there's all sorts of talk about whether the John Duran deal is that dead in the water. I'm not entirely convinced that it is. I think there's possibly going to be an element of Villa needing to get him out of the door a little bit lively, but we'll wait and see. But I suspect that if that does happen, that will probably be one of these loan with an obligation to buy things, kind of like what we've got with Jean-Claire Todibo. Fresh is in there, scouting God in the house. Well, there you go. Yes, because Albie, he obviously scouted Arnel Martinez, didn't he? And then what did we hear a day later? We heard Gonzo on Hammers Chat reference that very player. So yeah, I'm not saying that Albie's a sort of like an ITK or anything like that, but Gonzo, I'm guessing, probably heard. Maybe. Fabrizio Romano said, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is signed. Here we go. Well, usually when those three words go against a tweet from Fabrizio Romano, that's usually as good as anything. But until I see it on the club website, and I'm just going to do it again now, just refreshed. No, it hasn't changed. Then, as I say, until we've heard the official word, we'll wait and see on that one. So, Matt, hope you're well. Is Aaron Wan-Bissaka going to be our last signing? Kind of what we've just talked about. I think I've heard that if we're going to make any more signings from this point in, it will probably be on a one in, one out basis. Now, for me, I think either one of Aguirre or Mavropanos is probably likely to go. I don't think both of them will. We obviously know that Zuma is very likely to go, although that's a weird one because he's gone there and apparently they've found things on his medical, and it's like, well, hold on a minute. You knew he had dodgy knees. We knew he had dodgy knees 3 years ago when we signed him. They're hardly going to have made a miraculous recovery. So that's hardly revelatory. Why do you think we're giving him away for free? So I think it's a little bit of brickmanship. I think he will end up going. It will probably be that we have to subsidize part of his wages for the remainder of his contract, I'm guessing. But I just think, look, just do what you got to do to get him out. Damage limitation, let him leave with his head held high, and we'll sort of go from there. But Aguirre and Mavropanos, one of them, I think, needs to move on. We keep the other as backup. Souček and Ward-Prowse, one of them needs to go. I would also move on, if we could, Ings, Cornet, and that's probably about it. Yeah, I'd probably move them guys on. And then as for the sort of like the youth talent, so I'm talking like the likes of Oliver Scholes, I'm talking the likes of Kaelin Casey, I'm talking the likes of Lewis Orford. I'd keep Freddie Potts. I think I'd have Freddie Potts in the first team squad, but those guys, I think I would be moving on to a league, an EFL league team as high up as possible, where they would reasonably have a realistic chance of playing. It's no good if we're just going to loan them out to a club and they just sit on the bench and don't get a kick. That's completely counterproductive. So I would say try and get them out, get them playing regular men's first team football, and try and get them the experience that they need to hopefully, when they come back, they can do what I suspect that Freddie Potts is going to be doing this season and getting involved in the first team at intermittent points. Might not be a first team regular straight from the get-go, but I suspect that possibly this is where the signing of Guido Rodriguez is kind of like a bridge between where Freddie Potts is now in terms of his development, that he may be not quite ready for first team action, but by the time Guido Rodriguez, maybe a year or two down the track from now, that they're over that period of time, there's like this changing of the guard. There's like this passing of the torch sort of thing between Rodriguez or even Alvarez and Freddie Potts stepping into that role. That's what I hope. Now, obviously, we'll wait and see what happens, because obviously Freddie Potts, we've not really seen him to any length in Premier League football. We've seen him in little bits and pieces in Conference League football. We've seen him little bits and pieces playing for Wickham in League One, I think they were in last season. And he was obviously their player of the season, their man of the season. Are you allowed to say that nowadays? Are you allowed to sort of call them man of the match? That's gone. Anyway, but yeah, I think that he will be involved in the first team. Hopefully. Ricky says banners are also banned and removed if they're put up inside the stadium. I take it you're on about the protest material, Ricky. I kind of understand it, but I don't agree with it. I think that, look, if it's a peaceful protest, look, if there was people sort of like running around with placards and they're waving them in the air and they're sort of swinging them around like lunatics, that's not acceptable. But a peaceful protest, what's the problem? You're not hurting anyone. You're not harming anyone. The only person that's having their nose put out of joint are the morons that have put this this terrible policy in place of the concessions being scrapped for bands 1, 2, 3, whatever. Absolute joke. And I hope they reconsider. I know we're not the only club that's got this in, but I'm really not concerned about other clubs. I think Wolves are another club that I've heard mentioned in dispatches as having this particular thing bubbling away, as sort of like they're taking the concessions away in certain parts of the ground. Absolute joke. Absolutely terrible way of doing it. Albie, I'm glad to see that, mate. Really am. And as I say, guys, if you haven't signed that petition, please do. I'm just going to have a little refresh and see if there's been any movement on that. 16,078 now. The next goal, according to the website, is 25,000. They're a long way short. There's just under 9,000 more signatories. I mean, this should be straightforward. It really should. But I just don't understand why we haven't managed to get more names on there. I just find that quite shocking. Deadpool, hope you're well. How many more coming in after AWB? As I say, I think it will be 1 in, 1 out from here on in, mate. Once the Wan-Bissaka signing's done, I think it will be, for every one that we bring in, it will probably be get out another one. So Nick says he talked to people that didn't have a clue about the process. He did, which again I find quite shocking. I really do find quite shocking that there were people at the game that were completely oblivious as to why they were amongst only 15,000 in a 62,500 seater stadium. And I'm led to believe that of the 15,000 that attended on Saturday, 6,500 of those tickets approximately were given away. Wow. I mean, that's like, so you'd have had, if the club hadn't have done that, they'd have had less than 10,000 fans in that stadium. I mean, it already looked bad enough optically from what I saw. I mean, good God, that would have been. I mean, it was already embarrassing with 15,000 there. That would have been even more. I do wonder whether this is going to have any effect on the way that they've dealt with this situation. I hope it does, but I'm not overly sort of holding my breath. We'll wait and see. Larry, hope you are well over there in Lexington, Kentucky. Come on, you irons, indeed. Matt, hope you're well. The treatment Nicky got from West Ham Fan TV is a disgrace. Yeah, it's all right. I thought you were saying this treatment Nicky got from his own YouTube channel, but I think I know what you're trying to say. We're supposed to live in a country of free speech. Absolutely correct. And us people have the right to protest. Club shop and security are sheep. Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. They said to him on that video, I'm just doing my job, mate. And I kind of get that. Fundamentally, we've all got a job to do. And sometimes we get told by our boss that we've got to fulfill a task that in our hearts we don't want to do. But we end up having to do it anyway, sort of like we just sort of hold our nose and grit our teeth and sort of push on through. But yeah, I think that protest material, do excuse me, what's that? Oh, okay. Protest material, it's like, yeah, I don't really see what harm he was doing. I really don't. You had a leaflet that was saying that you were against something that is an archaic thing that is coming in, that is going to only harm the fan base, that's only going to jeopardize, in the long run, all it's going to do is jeopardize the future support. But don't worry, because David and Karen are quite happy for some, middle class idiot to sort of come in from Pimlico that sort of like is on their bicycle and with their sort of tofu burgers and mineral water and come and watch West Ham. And that's fine until we get relegated. No, you won't see them for dust, mate. They'll be gone. Yeah, don't worry about it, Matt. Don't worry. It's not a problem. Sharky, hope you're well. Real shame more people haven't signed a petition. Sharky, I feel it's disgraceful. I really, really do. I don't mean to be critical, but I have to call it as I see it. I think it is a disgrace that our fan base who go to the stadium week on week, and I don't for 1 minute believe that of the 54 or whatever it is thousand season ticket holders we've currently got, I don't believe in my heart of hearts they're all like me, died in the wall, been round the block, home, away, Europe, domestic, have seen good times, have seen bad. I know that there's a lot of fans that are in that stadium that are not cut from the cloth that I'm cut from and that you're cut from, and a lot of the people in the live chat are cut from, that you bleed claret and blue if you're cut in half. These people are not like that. They're people that are probably middle class, have got a good disposable income. Premier League football is in town for them with their sort of wages, their means. It's quite cheap. Probably they'll have a couple of season tickets because they might entertain people, this, that, and the other. You know the story. But I would say there's approximately 30,000, give or take, hardcore, dyed-in-the-wall West Ham fans that go to the London Stadium every single home match, come rain, shine, all of that, success, not success. There's about 30,000 of them. And so, therefore, I find it quite strange that we haven't got around about 30,000 signatures at least on that petition. To say that we've only got 16,000, I think is disgraceful. Sorry, that's just the way I feel. Ricky, Villa, City, and now Chelsea games have no concessions available either. Absolute disgrace, mate. Absolute disgrace. And also, don't forget, they've made the Villa game as a category A. I mean, I know they made Champions League, but bloody hell, that's just like, opportunistic. Opportunistic. Chelsea band one general sale, £100, no concessions. Again, Ken, absolutely disgusting. The hierarchy at our club have a lot to answer for. They really do, mate. It's just an absolute disgrace, an absolute dereliction of duty. What they are doing to the future generations of this club, they're absolutely, like I say, they're cutting them off at the knees, mate. Cutting them off at the knees. I sit in the gods for 360-ish. I'm in the last row, 69. I'm a couple of rows further back than you, mate. I'm in row 73. But good luck to you. 69. That's going to be a bit of a trot. That is, I can tell you. But if I want to move down to the upper tier or bottom, it's almost £1,000. Absolutely abominable. Absolutely abominable, mate. Trodge, hope you're well. Karen will install OAP shoots. Oh, right. So like that guy that I had at the Oval, if there's someone up by me in row 73 and he's having a medical episode, we'll just sort of get the old... He'll go down in a slide and there'll be the medics at the bottom to catch him. I'm sure what could possibly go wrong, Trodge? Why didn't I think of that? I know you're being facetious, and so am I. But it's an absolute disgrace. Matt says, my father, born 66, been going from the early 70s, never missed a game. Hates the London Stadium, but goes because of me and the grandkids. Paid the £10 years ago for the season tickets, never got a sniff back. He's done going. I don't blame him. And isn't that a shame? All those years of following the club, and he's now felt that he's been painted into a corner and he's got nowhere to go. I feel for you, mate, and I feel for him. Absolutely terrible. The way things are going, it's going to be like Hunger Games soon. Will be a lot more than football, where you can't go unless you are rich. It's pretty much like that now, isn't it? I mean, I'm lucky in I'm able to go with myself and my 3 kids. 2 of them are now adults and they do work, so they do make that sort of contribution towards it. It's not me that's necessarily paying for it, although it used to be. My daughter is now 16, going on 17. And, but once upon a time, I had to pay for all the tickets, and it's not cheap, let me tell you. Absolutely disgraceful. Matt says, as a young dad, I won't pay £50 plus per ticket for a 4-year-old boy. And neither should you, Matt. Neither should you. His season ticket is around £400 plus. That is an absolute daylight robbery, mate. I mean, the one thing I will say is at least Dick Turpin had the good grace to wear a mask as he was robbing you. Sullivan and Brady, mate, they have got a lot to answer for. Think AWB is now official. Right, well, I'm going to just quickly look on the website then, Adrian, and I'm going to refresh it. No, not according. I mean, I suspect it is done, in truth. I suspect that the contracts are signed. I think it's now just a question of, obviously, a lot of the sort of like the media stuff, photographs, videos, all of that stuff, and then they'll go. And it might be that it's done, but they might not release it till tomorrow morning. But I suspect he is. Trudge, we've already got you, Les, Dartford crossing tolls. Don't get me started on that one, because that's literally go out of my front door and look to the right, and I can see the Dartford Bridge from where I live. Dartford crossing, central London zones. Wait for the next phase, mate. They got you by the short and curlies. They have got you all ends up. The hierarchy. It's just unbelievable. Ricky, X has said that there are still 1 or 2 issues with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, so will now be tomorrow if completed. Now that's interesting. I haven't seen that particular tweet or whatever communication method he's used, Ricky. I'm hoping it's just some mere sort of glitch, some sort of like quibble over, I don't know, money, probably. Let's be honest, most of the things that hold things up are usually either money or medical. It's the 2 M's usually. Lawrence says, how many games will it take to get proper chemistry going for our new signings? Big changes, new coach, new tactics, players learning to play together. I think we started to see it against Celta Vigo. I definitely noticed a change in the emphasis, a change in the way that we shaped up. And it's going to take time. And I think that probably by the time we're about half a dozen or so games into the season, I think we should have an idea of how we're shaping up for the remainder of the season. I'm cautiously optimistic, because I think that if you remember the transfer window that we had 2 years ago, we did what was perceived to be at the time a lot of business that we believed was actually very good business at that moment in time. Fast forward now to 2 years later, and of those players that we signed 2 years ago, only 4 of them are still at the club. And of those 4, 2 of them are Maxwell Cornet, who is not really done much since then, and he's probably going to be out of the door fairly soon. And the other one is Naya Faguer, and I suspect that he may well be off himself. So, yeah, we'll wait and see on that. Just as I'm talking, just sort of to mention, if you don't mind, I've got 43 of you that are watching. Could you please make sure that before you all disappear, that you've all made sure you've liked this particular stream? I'm just going to have a little check, because I've just come out of here. Oh, wouldn't you know, we've now broken the 800 subscribers mark. We're on 802. That was 798 when I started. So we've gained 4 subscribers. So whoever it is that we've gained, thank you so much. You've helped take us through the 800 barrier. So I guess now we're heading towards the 900 barrier. So yeah, we've got at the minute 25 likes, 42 watching. So there's obviously a bit of a shortfall there. Well, it's 40 now, because two more have cleared off. They've decided it's not for them, but there's at least 15 of you that can put a like on the stream. Literally, you just click the thumbs up. It helps the old algorithm gets this product out to other people that might not have otherwise seen it, helps the channel. Early Tours TV. Tony, hope you're well, mate. Get over to this channel. He's doing some good things over there. Early Doors Football TV. You've obviously, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do it again. I'm a big believer in sort of trying to help people out. So hang on a minute. Let me just have a look. Just in case there's people in the chat that are like, well, what the bloody hell's that, Rob? I don't know. Well, I will share it with you. So just bear with me. So present, share screen, Early Doors Football TV. There you go. That's where you need to go. Get on that. I will also put in the live chat the channel URL. And if any of you guys haven't already subscribed to that YouTube channel, please make sure you do. Currently, Early Doors Football TV just finds itself on 389 subscribers. So we've currently got 41 watching. Now, if even half of you guys weren't already subscribed to that particular YouTube channel, they go through the 400 barrier. So let's try and help them, guys. It's one family with the West Ham family. Let's all try and sort of help each other out a little bit. All right, let's just sort of carry on, see what other questions we got. A few little pleasantries being exchanged. Kent says, in cricket parlance, that lineup is 2020 attacking the game, and Moyes was a slow test match. You're right. I think what it is, I think that the reason I want to see that team that I put out, Kent, is probably, like I say, it's probably down to the fact that I've been starved of that sort of, front foot, gung-ho, you'll score 4, we're going to try and score 5 sort of mentality. We're at home against Aston Villa. Yes, they qualified for the Champions League and they should be respected, but we shouldn't fear them. We shouldn't fear them at all. For me, they've done a lot of good business as well. This is the irresistible force colliding with the immovable object, as Gorilla Monsoon used to say. Paquetá backup needed. You could have a point there, Trodge. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if he was out for any length of time, we probably don't have a player that could come in that I can think of. I mean, Ward-Prowse is not a direct replacement. Souček is not a direct replacement. Playmaker, probably you're looking at an Orford or an Earthy, but are they ready? I'm not too sure. So, but who would come in that would realistically know that they're coming in as Paquetá's backup? That's the problem, isn't it? Hang in there, Tony. Just got back from Canada. Larry Dog. Right. Ricky comes in, says, can Loppy afford to have a transitional season with only a 2-year contract under his belt? Well, isn't it a 2-year contract with an option for an extra one? So I guess if he comes flying out of the blocks this season, and even if we don't manage to qualify for Europe, let's just suppose, Ricky, we're challenging for European football until the last day. Let's also suppose that we're playing a brand of football that the fans are more sort of like take to their hearts. Let's also suppose maybe we just to sort of put a little bit of a cherry on the icing on the cake. Let's just suppose we manage to put in a deep cup run to the semi-final at least. Doesn't matter which cup. Do you know what? I think that is good. That is good sort of progress for me. I would suggest. Mandy, hope you are well. Are we in danger of trying to blend in too many players this season? Well, let's look. I mean, there's been 7 players signed thus far, and we expect it will be 8 before we're too much older. But of those players, Guilherme, I don't think is going to be a regular starter. Fotheringham definitely won't be. And I think that Rodriguez will be rested and rotated to allow Alvarez a little bit of freshness. And also, don't forget, Alvarez he likes a yellow card, so he will probably be having suspensions here and there. So, there's at least 2 players and possibly a third who I don't think will be guaranteed first starters when everybody is fit and firing. But we'll wait and see. All things, I mean, yes, there is a lot of players, and I hand on heart, I think that the business we're doing in theory is great. I think we're only going to know, because of what I referenced about 2 years ago, I think we're only going to know in the fullness of time whether this is actually good business or not, maybe a year or two down the track. So we're just going to have to sort of see how it plays out. A few little pleasantries going back and forwards. J-Lo knows Solari next, and I'm happy. I've not seen him play, but there's a lot of people that have obviously said that he is a very good player. So I'm going to go with it. And look, he's obviously playing for Paris Saint-Germain, and I know it's a bit of a farmers league, but they obviously play Champions League football and all the rest of it. But I'm not going to pretend that I know the player inside and out. I really don't. But look, at the end of the day, if that's who the manager says that he wants to get in, or Tim Steiten says that he wants to get in for the manager, the head coach, then I'm going to say in Tim and Loppy we trust. It's as simple as that. Howard, hope you are well. In Poppy's first season, Loppy. I'll put that down, as you probably put it on your phone and it auto corrected it before you sent it. It is what it is. In his first season at Seville, 16 new players, 10 out, and a European Cup. I believe he knows how to get a tune out of a new team, Manders. Yep, I think you're right. I mean, he's got a pedigree about him. So we'll just have to sort of, like I say, we're just going to have to put our trust in him. And yeah, just let's see how it plays out. 16th in, 19th out, 4th Europa League win. Okay, so that was the turnover of players in, players out, and then he finished 4th and got a Europa League win. Well, that's very impressive. You can't say anything else. Can't even give Zuma away. Yeah, I can't work it out. I'm like, look, I actually put something on a group chat a little bit earlier, and look, don't know if this is factually correct, and I'm just going to use these numbers for illustrative purposes. I don't know if they're factually correct, but let's just suppose they've obviously they're cutting up rough about his knees, which they surely would have known, because let's be honest, even Stevie Wonder knew that Kurt Zuma had knackered knees. We all knew he had knackered knees. Why do you think we're giving him to you gratis, free? He's got a year left on our contract. We could get some money for him, but we're actually quite happy to just push him out the door and head him in your direction. So there's obviously something wrong with him, isn't there? Now, let's just suppose, for the sake of conversation, and as I say, I don't know if these numbers are accurate. Let's just suppose that his wages are, for the remainder of this current year in his contract that he has left to run at West Ham, 120 grand a week. Let's also suppose that Shabab Al Ahly are offering him 50,000 a week. Just suppose, okay? Just for the argument's sake. So why don't, to make sure that he's not out of pocket, we turn around and we say to Kurt Zuma and to Shabab Al Ahly that we will pay the 70 grand a week shortfall that he's got on his contract for the remainder of the contract. So for the rest of this season. Now, some people might turn around and say, but then we're paying 70 grand a week for a player that we're not going to utilize. Let's be realistic. We're probably not going to utilize him anyway, but if we don't get him out the door, we're going to pay all of his wages. And as I say, let's just suppose it's 120k a week for argument's sake. So we've got less money to pay out. They've obviously having the wages subsidized. The player's not losing any money for the first year at the very least. Everybody's happy. So I just don't see why there can't be an arrangement that's made. I think it will happen. I just think that they've obviously got to thrash things out and just see, well, just make sure that everybody's on board with it. Howard says, I really believe Loppy's going to smash it and feel a Leicester City winning season on the cards. Come on, you Irons. Howard, wow, that's a bit of a stretch, mate. I mean, bloody hell. Winning the league. I'd love to see it, mate. I'm not quite convinced that it's going to be like that. I mean, look, I would take sneaking into the Europa Conference League on the last day of the season. It wouldn't be a problem to me. I would be absolutely fine with that. How many homegrown we got left if Ings and JWP leave? I'll be perfectly honest with you, mate. I haven't got a clue. I find these homegrown rules quite strange because I guess I'm a bit old school and I'm like, well, okay, is he English? And that's what I sort of think as homegrown. And then you sort of you find that, oh, no, he's he's not English, he's actually Dutch, but he counts as homegrown because he came through blah, 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 blah. And you're like, it's just really weird. I can't get my head around it a lot of the time. So as far as that one's concerned, mate, I'll be brutally honest and say I don't know. I really don't. Jog on JWP and Cornet, that's 30 mil there. It's only 30 mil if there's a club that's prepared to pay it, Mandy. That's the thing. We might turn around and say it's 30 million that we want for them. But if you've got a club, and let's be honest, how many times has David Sullivan done it? You know, oh, we want 30 million for that player. I'll give you 5. Really? Yeah, they're only worth that if there's someone that's prepared to pay it. I'm not convinced that Cornet is going to fetch much. I'm really not. JWP might fetch a bit more, but I don't know. I think we're probably looking at 20 million at best, and that's on a good day. We cannot move on any homegrown players, as currently we only have 7 until Aaron Wan-Bissaka signs or we lose a squad place. Ricky's just explained it. He's giving you the SP, guys. Zuma stays, takes another spot, so we can probably get rid of Ings. Howard says, Potts will become a worldie under the wing of Alvarez, Paquetá and Guido. I hope so. I've really got some high hopes for Potsy. Without dropping us to a squad of 24. Ings goes, he will have to be replaced by another homegrown only. Well, we'll just have to wait and see how that pans out. Trodge says, AWB coming in covers him, right? I guess so. Early Doors says a few little pleasantries. Matt says he signed it. I'm guessing that's the petition. Thanks for that, mate. Do appreciate it. According to Fabrizio Romano, AWB signed and sealed. As I say, I believe that he believes it, and I'm pretty sure that it will be revealed. But on the club website, and I've literally just refreshed it, there's still no news. So we'll wait and see. No, he gives a full quota of homegrown, so we can have a squad of 25. Think we'll be trying to shift Cornet and Souček because homegrown quota might become an issue. Yeah, I can see we're probably going to have to chuck them a few bob to get them out. Quite possibly. Steve, hope you are well. Few little pleasantries being exchanged. Looks like a Diamond League meet. Fair enough. Some more pleasantries just being exchanged. Let's just whiz through a few of the comments. If there's any questions you've got, guys, as I say, send them in. In fact, I think there's one here. Right, there we are. So Albie says, do you think the protest and the lack of tickets sold was the reason why the club put the Betway Cup on live stream at the last minute to try and get views from YouTube? Listen, every decision that they make is money's at the heart of it, mate. I wasn't aware that it was going to be on YouTube until very shortly before the match. I was hearing that it wasn't being televised, and then all of a sudden I heard it was on ESPN Plus, which is a law-abiding citizen in the UK. Obviously, I don't have it. You catch my drift. But then I found that it was on YouTube for free. So yeah, it probably was, Albie. Like I say, the reason why things happen in life is usually down to money. So I suspect that you may be onto something. Trodge says Karen's already cold many of the old fans with the move into the stadium and the heavies. Yeah, don't get me started on that one. Absolute joke. Kent says last season all home games were sold out in no time. The first and second games not sold out, yet prices are the reason for me. 100% agree. In actual fact, I had maybe about a week or so ago now, I was getting text messages asking me if I wanted extra tickets for the Aston Villa game. I was like, what? That you mean that's not sold out already? First home game of the season. We're playing a Champions League qualified team, and there's still tickets available. But when you sort of like you drill a little bit deeper into the detail as to why, you kind of understand why this is happening. They've done it to themselves, mate. They have brought it all on themselves. 52 of you watching. Could you please make sure you dropped a like on the stream, 52 of you. And if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Do appreciate it. Think they had no choice, Albie. I think you're right, Tone. I think that they would have been completely. I mean, they were going to come in for a hard time, whatever they did. But a meaningless friendly that 15,000 have turned up to, that 6,500 tickets were given away, and you don't put it on your own YouTube channel for the proper fans to watch in some way, shape, or form, they were going to get absolutely pilloried, mate. Don't worry about that. Adrian says lots of fans don't get involved with social media around the club, so not surprising they wouldn't be aware. Yeah, I guess that the older element might not be on social media, but surely the word's got around. I'm hoping, if you're right, I'm hoping that now, as we get closer to the season, that you'll probably find that maybe there'll be people that, okay, maybe don't gravitate around social media sort of circles, and this might have passed them by. But hopefully when they start going to the games, there'll be conversations that take place. What? They've got rid of concessions? Yeah. Have you not heard about that? That's an absolute disgrace, and so on and so on and so on. And then obviously, hopefully, I think if you're right, hopefully a month from now, that petition will take on a life of its own. If it doesn't, then something's desperately wrong, Adrian, for me. Literally just WhatsApp the petition to my dad and his sisters. We now got 6 news. Brilliant. Well done, Matt. Thank you for that. Yep, I can believe that as well. So I call myself and my dad. You absolutely are, mate. You go all over the place. You do all over the place. Brilliant. Hang on a minute. Right, I'll come to that in a minute. Just had a message come through on WhatsApp. I will get back to that in a moment. Early doors football TV. Anything that to say that they got bums on seats, Albie? Yeah, probably, mate. Just make it look a little bit better. As I say, they gave away 6,500 tickets. Words and pictures. I agree 100% with you about concessions. I'd like to clarify one thing. Children and OAPs can buy a full price season ticket in the exclusion zones, punishing poor fans. Absolute joke they are, mate. All it is, it's all about that. That's all it's about. Howard says, I'm a lone parent, a week's camping with my daughter of a game at the London Stadium. Listen, there's a lot of people that are not going to have the disposable income that's going to be required to do this. This is an absolute joke. Like I say, I struggle to find the words. Do excuse me. I'm just going to have a quick sip of my water. Oh, thank you very much. It's really humid still. I mean, what is it? It's 8 minutes to 9 o'clock in the evening. It is humid. But sweaty Betty. Matt says, deal is done. Photos, video are done. Announcement tomorrow, I would assume. Yeah, I think, at nearly 9 o'clock, I would be shocked if this is announced. I mean, it's not transfer deadline day, so I don't really see that they're going to bother with announcing it today. I think that probably more likely to get the traction on social media, because that's what a lot of it is about now, isn't it? They'll probably announce it tomorrow. I don't know, about noon, 11 o'clock in the morning, something around that, I suspect. Got 55 watching now. Wowzers. Let's say, any of you haven't already dropped a like on the stream and subscribed, please do. Thank you very much. Don't ask, don't get. That's my motto. Steve says, the only reason I'm going Saturday is that the granddaughters clubbed together for a ticket for my birthday, but 70 quid is a rip-off. Oh, my God. Absolute. I'll tell you what, mate. I'd have told them to save their money, and I'm not trying to be horrible to you. I'm not trying to be horrible to your granddaughters. Jesus Christ. 70 quid. I don't mean to be funny, but like I say, I know they qualified for Champions League. Fucking hell, honestly. I'm a lone parent. It's a week's camping with my daughter or a game at London Stadium. That's yeah, exactly. You've got a choice to make, haven't you, Howard? It's either this or this, but I can't do both. Early happy birthday. Cheers. It was in July. Wow, 21 again. The stadium will always be there. Precious moments with your daughters fly by. Yep, absolutely, mate. Your family is the main priority. It should always be that way. Joan, hope you're well. This is another great signing. It's going to happen. Wan-Bissaka is going to be a fan's favourite. I'm delighted, she says. Trodge says it would be nice playing on Saturdays again. Yeah, obviously we've had 3 seasons of European football and that was great. but obviously it meant there was a lot of games on a Sunday. Josiah, thanks for joining us. Keith Wyness is an embarrassment. Keith Wyness, isn't he something to do with? He's something to do with the Premier League or something, isn't he? I know the name. Josiah. You'll have to forgive my apparent ignorance. I know the name, and I'm trying to think where I've heard it. Let me just have a little. I'll tell you what. I'm just bear with me. My curiosity has got the better. I know I've heard that name before. Ah, right. Here we go. Okay, he's the chief executive of Aston Villa. Right. Okay, I'm gonna have a little guess, Josiah, if I may, and say that you are probably a Villa fan. And if you are, welcome. You are very, very welcome to the channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Do appreciate it. Let's have a look. Kent's got a question. We are in the League Cup round early this season. Who would you like to draw? Leyton Orient. Local game. Leyton Orient. Why not? Used to be that we had something of a relationship with them because obviously they were another East London club. But of course, what happened with the London Stadium and the fact that they've got into bed with Spurs, that's kind of soured that relationship. But be that as it may, I think, yeah, go on, Leyton Orient. Why not? Why not? Yeah, I'm pleased with that, mate. I'm pleased with that one. I was 800. I thought you'd already subbed. Howard, I thought you'd already subbed. Oh, well, you're in now. Thank you very much for joining us. 802 subs. Yeah, cheers, Tone. Appreciate it. We will get, as Matt says there, we will get to 1,000 before we're very much older. That's always the aim, obviously. At 1,000, you can monetize the channel. This isn't about money for me. It isn't. It isn't about anything other than just doing it for the love of it, really, and just engaging with you guys. I really do enjoy it. It's a lot of hard work, I've got to say. Behind the scenes, there is a lot of hard work. And there's YouTube Early Doors Football TV. As I say, if you haven't, please do subscribe, as Albie has done there. And Larry is already a subscriber. Yeah, I've heard that, Hammer 89, but as I say, my understanding is that he's probably signed. They've probably done a lot of the media stuff, but because of the way that social media works, at nearly 9 o'clock at night, there's probably not much value in announcing it, to be honest with you. So we'll probably hear tomorrow. Thank you, Joan. Do appreciate it. Yep, 100%, mate. Look, plenty of people have given me help over the years in this particular realm. I've had help over the years from Gio, from Gonzo, from Russ, from Anton. Lots and lots of people over the years have sort of given me a bit of a leg up. So I'm always of the opinion what goes around comes around, mate. You help people the same way that people help you. So I just think it's the way you do things. I like to think that everybody looks at it like that, and I know that they don't, but hey, I can only take care of myself. Howard was AWB was eating jelly deals at Tubby Isaac's, reading his contract. I'm not a lover of jelly deals. I'm not a lover of jelly deals at all. Although the only time I tried it was probably not. It's probably not a true reflection of it. It wasn't at a pie and mash shop. I have tried stew deals. Now stew deals, I actually don't mind. It's basically like fish, isn't it? Really. Earthy is okay. Just a few little messages going back. Hi Steve, enjoy your birthday. Da, 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 da. Yep, no worries. I'll sign up between this and Stell early. Fair enough. I was going to ask, how is the mother-in-law? Oh, I hope. Sorry to hear that. I wasn't aware. Don't know what's going on there, but if there is something going on, I hope she's all right, mate. Thank you, Steve. Do appreciate it, and so does Tony. He's cock a hoop with that one. Matt says we spent over 100 million in Europa Conference League. Should be the target, or should we aim higher? In your opinion? No, I'd take Conference League. I think that there's obviously got to be a bedding in period. We've had a lot of players that have been indoctrinated in the Moyes philosophy, and it's possibly going to take a little bit of time for them to rinse that out of themselves. So despite the fact we've done the business that we have, I am going to give him a bit of patience. And I would say that if we got Conference League, personally, I'd be happy. You know, it's another trophy that we can aim for. We've got European football, which then means that we've got a way of attracting a caliber of players that we wouldn't be able to attract without it. You know, and the feeling that we had when we won the Conference League trophy, if we went and did it again, let's say in 2 seasons' time. So let's say this season we qualify for the Conference League, and then the season after we win it. I'm not going to turn that away, mate. I'm really not. So, Matt says, who's your top 4? 3 getting relegated. West Ham finish. Oh, God. I mean, City, you'd be a fool to bet against them. But they've won it 4 times on the bounce. Can they actually do it a 5th time? I didn't think they were going to do it the 4th time. I thought it was going to be Arsenal. I'll be brutally honest. I said that right from the word go. I thought it was going to be Arsenal. And I thought it was going to be Arsenal right the way until the second to last game. And once I knew that they had to play us, and we was playing the way we were, I was just like, there's just no way that City are going to slip up now. It doesn't matter what Arsenal do. And of course, what was it? A minute into that game, we went 1-0 down at the Emirates on the last game. The Etihad, excuse me. So I'm probably going to say, I am going to be that fool. I'm going to say Arsenal will win the Premier League. I'm going to say City to finish 2nd. 3rd place. Do you know what? If they hadn't have got rid of him, Pochettino, I'd have probably said Chelsea might have been a dark horse for the Premier League, because the way they finished the season, I was really impressed with them. But they have got rid of him, and I'm not quite sure how Maresca, who's got no Premier League experience whatsoever as a manager, how he's going to turn out. So I don't think Chelsea are going to be in it for that reason. But if it had been Poch, then I might have said that there was a chance. Who am I going to have as 3rd place? Not sure how Liverpool are going to be under Slot. I think that could be a little bit of upheaval for them. Oh, who's going to finish 3rd? I'm going to say Newcastle. That's a shock. I'm going to say Newcastle are going to finish 3rd. And I'm going to say Liverpool are going to finish... No. I'm going to say Man United are going to finish 4th. Yeah. Let's go Arsenal, City, Newcastle, Manchester United in that order. Could be completely wrong. Probably will be when the final matches are done. You'll probably come back to me once game 38 has been finished, and none of those teams are where I've said them, and a couple of the teams aren't even in the top 4 probably, and you can call me an idiot. That's fine, not a problem. Bottom 3, I think, is very likely to be the teams that have come up. Being completely honest, I think the 3 teams that have come up are very likely to be in a relegation scrap and are very likely to find themselves going back down the gurgler. Sorry to say that, Southampton fans, because I've got a mate at work who's a Southampton fan, so he won't be pleased for me to say that, but I've got to say it as I believe it to be. I think that any team that comes up from the Premier League is going to find it tough. West Ham finish, I'm going to say 7th. I think that would get us Conference League. So I'm going to say 7th. Yeah, let's go 7th. I'm going to be happy with that. Do we all agree that the business done? With the business done, Europe is either this season's target or next. I think it would be a tentative target this season, Tone. And I think next season it wouldn't be a tentative target. It would be an expectation, I believe. Peter, hope you're well. Says, think we'll take a few games to settle and get used to the way he plays. Has to be this season. Fair enough, Matt. Burnley tearing Luton a new one, 2-0 up. Okay, isn't that Scott Parker's there? Isn't he usual? I'm sure Scott Parker's their manager now, isn't he? I'm sure it was Scott Parker that would have gone there. I think Luton might struggle in the Championship. Tony, she's still in the hospital, hanging in there, mate. Lawrence, I had no idea. I'm really sorry to hear that. There's nothing I can say or do that makes things any better. Just all I can say to you, Lawrence, is your family, yourself, your mother-in-law. You're in my thoughts, and I hope it all turns out well in the end, mate. I really do. So, fingers crossed for you. Zuma had knackered knees. He did, and as I say, if he didn't have those knackered knees, Pete, let's be honest, we wouldn't have got him for the price that we got him for. And in all honesty, we probably wouldn't have got him, period. It was because of his knees that opened the door for us. And we got him for what, 25 billion. If his knees had been in prime condition, double that, treble that easily, not a problem. So Matt says, think missing out on Europe would be seen as an underachievement. I'm not so sure, Matt. Look, everybody's to their own. And obviously, you can only speak for yourself. I can only speak for myself. I think so long as we're in the shake-up for it until the last game of the season for me, and if we can, like I say, play better football than we've seen in the last couple of seasons, and maybe chuck in a deep cup run to the semi-finals at least in one of the domestic cup competitions, me personally, and I can only speak for me, I would go, that is progress. That is progress. We signed him knowing about his knackered knees. We absolutely did. It isn't a revelation. We bid against ourselves when we bought Zuma. You're not kidding, mate. You're not kidding. Surprised Zuma was good for a couple of seasons. Guess injections only work for so long. Depends upon what the injection is, Trodge. Don't expect, and Lopetegui don't get an automatic extra year if we make Europe, so that will be a sweetener for him. Yeah, I think so. I think I've heard something about that. Pete says Zuma's cats are happy now that they aren't living with him anymore and are being looked after by the RSPCA. You may very well say that, Peter. I could not possibly comment. Usual says, question is, how on earth did he pass the medical at West Ham in the first place? I think that probably what happened is we just sort of like grabbed his balls, asked him to cough, and we went, that'll do. You do smoke a lot of weed. That's fine, mate. It doesn't make you a bad person. It might just affect your judgment at certain times, but that's fine, mate. Don't worry about it. Good on you. So that's what I thought. So hopefully it happens this season rather than next. We'll wait and see, Matt. Like I say, could get Odin Wingy? Is he counted as homegrown? Peter, leave it. Not Peter Odemwingie. Is he still playing? I'm not even quite sure he is. Getting conference again would be amazing. Good start for Lopetegui. As I say, I'm on board with it, Joan. I'm really on board with that. If we got Conference League football at the end of this season for next season, again, it's a trophy we could realistically look to win. I was there in Prague when we won it. I wasn't in the stadium. I was in the fan part with two of my 3 children. The only thing that could have made that day better is if all 3 of them were there with me. That's something that really does sort of grind my gears. But the child that didn't make it was there because he couldn't and didn't actually want to. Which, we will end up paying off Cornet, even though he has cost us hundreds of thousands. You're probably right, Pete. You're probably right. We ain't going to get 30 million for either JWP or Cornet or even Ings. I think maybe 10 to 15. I think you're right, Matt. I think they're only worth what someone is reasonably going to pay for them. And you're not going to get you're not going to get Man United or Liverpool or Real Madrid or, coming in and going, oh, we'll have Maxwell Cornet off you for 50 million. It's not going to happen. They'll probably turn around and go, well, he's had injuries, he's had this, he's had. I tell you what, we'll do it on a loan with an option to buy. Or some nonsense like that. What Sullivan normally gets away with, let's be honest about it, and it would just be sort of quite poetic that it happens to him. I'm on a little bit of Red Bull right now, Howard. Are you indeed? I'm highly optimistic for a decent season. So am I. Obviously, it depends upon what you interpret as being a decent season. I guess beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Cornet won't pass a medical. You're very likely correct there, Joan. I want to see Skulls and Potts, but they need to have been playing time for this year for experience. I think they need to go away on loan. Well, not Potts. Potts I'd like to keep. He's had the time away on loan. Skulls, I think, would need to be tested. Orford needs to be tested. Earthy needs to be tested, in my opinion. Caitlin Casey needs to be tested. Any young player that has a realistic chance of making it if things go right in the first team, that there's hopes and expectations over, at the earliest possible opportunity, get them playing men's football. Get them playing, get them tested and then see how they go. Cornet is something never seen before by the medical team. Yeah, it's I don't exactly know. I'm not in the medical profession, so I don't know all the ins and outs, but I know that that injury that you had was a bit of a head scratcher for a lot of people. Just getting myself warmed up for Stell. What time's he on? Is he on in about? Hang on, have I misremembered? Hang on, let me just check. Because I don't want to cross over with Stell because that's a bit rude, really. So let me just check my subscriptions. Bear with. Right. He's going to go live in literally 4 minutes. So I'm just going to go for a couple more minutes, and then I will be off and out of here before Stell goes live. Have you decided to pack in your pie and mash reviews? My brother and I have not done it in one for a little while. Do you know where we went, though, the other week? We probably should do a review in it. We went to Manzi's in Deptford, which I believe is going to be closing in the next however long. So I think probably we need to do one on them because they're not going to be here for too much longer. So I think we need to do one, don't we, Pete? I wouldn't say we've made an active decision to pack it in. Definitely not. It's just that life gets in the way. My brother's life is my brother's life is my brother's life, and so is mine. Super Six jackpot is now 2 million. Sky Sports as news has announced. There you go, and don't forget, guys. I'll tell you what. Let me just put where is the little ticker that I had made up for anyone that hasn't aware of it. Where is it? No. Oh, this is annoying. Right. Okay, so guys, go on to super6.skysports.com/league. You're looking for the West Ham Massive League, and you need to put in the PIN number Echo Bravo 53N for November 8. Get on there. It's free to join. All you got to do is create a Sky Bet account. But you don't have to make a deposit or anything like that. Last I looked, there was 13 people that were in the league. We're just going to have a little bit of fun. All you got to do, there's 6 fixtures that you need to make a prediction on. Is it going to finish 2-1? Is it going to finish 0-1? Is it going to finish whatever? And if you get them all right, I think there's a prize of about $250,000, if I remember correctly. So get stuck into it. You got the details there on the ticker at the bottom. Right, I should probably make a move very shortly because obviously Stell is about to go live, and I don't want to sort of take any views away from him. And I'm pretty sure I don't want any people that sort of like decide that they want to go and watch him, and he does great content. I wouldn't blame you if you did, to be perfectly honest with you. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to cut myself adrift at this point, but there's 52 of you watching. Make sure before I hit end stream on this that you have all liked this stream, because seriously, the way that the algorithms work with YouTube is it will push the content to places it wouldn't other. So the 52 of you watching, it's now down to 49. 52 of you watching, hopefully they liked it before they buggered off, those 3. Put a like on the stream. Make sure you subscribe as well. That is also key to growing the channel. Anyway, I'm going to disappear. And as I say, guys, please don't forget to like, comment on, and share this stream to your social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Make sure you hit the bell icon for alerts of new content. Share it far and wide on your social media platforms. All these things are free to do. They all grow the channel. We won't have your bank details. We won't come round and kick your dog. We'll leave you alone. until obviously we do any content, and then you'll get a little thing that comes up and says that we've got a live stream going. But other than that, it's not a problem to us. So anyway, guys, thank you very much indeed for your company. Stay safe. Please don't forget to support the Iron Supporting Food Banks charity. Sign that petition, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, you Irons. We shall not be moved.
Iron Supporting Food Banks collects food and cash donations for needy families in Newham Borough and beyond. Please consider making a donation via their Just Giving page, the link for which you will find in the description section of this stream. Come on, you Irons.